I'm Malcolm Hornby. Way back in 1981, I had a dream that intrigued me. It suggested that my mentality consisted of 8 distinct traits. 4 of them were portrayed as masculine and 4 as feminine. Over several weeks, I deduced what these traits were and decided to write a novel to explore them further. 20 years later, I took early retirement and spent 18 months working on a first draft. It had many loose ends and characters that served no purpose, so I placed it aside to focus on other projects. During the intervening years, I came up here and there with plot devices that would enhance the novel. In time, the deeper meaning of the story became clear. The novel started out as an exploration of 8 different character traits, but it developed into the story of how a person transitions into a fully functional human being. In that dream from 1981, I was leafing through a book that recorded a sociological experiment inspired by the work of Carl Gustav Jung, the celebrated Swiss psychologist. Interestingly, the dream described a sociological experiment and not a psychological one. It seemed to depict my mental landscape not as the mind of a single person, but as a place populated with multiple people. I thought that as my sleeping mind had constructed the dream, I should be able to gain insight by thinking on it or by letting my imagination take over. After all, my waking mind and sleeping mind had to be connected somehow. So I took a character from a short story I had written and built the novel around him. The character was Michael Ullman, a mid-30s Londoner who was at a crossroads in life and could not decide how to move forward. Having quit a good job as a computer systems auditor, he had returned from a long Mediterranean holiday with no idea of what he should do next. A letter was waiting for him from a former co-worker, a beautiful but troubled woman. She was supposed to have met him in Spain, but never showed. After mulling her letter, he decided to go, unannounced, to the college where he believed she was enrolled. The trip does not go as planned. He ends up taking an aimless walk and rests under a tree in a sports field. That's where the psychodrama begins. He reflects upon the events of the day and the days before and concludes that there are several versions of himself, all wrapped in the same body, all sharing the same life. He decides to try a technique he had read about in the works of Jung called active imagination. Jung had developed this as a way to consciously interact with the deeper psyche. So Michael lets go of his thoughts and finds himself walking along a corridor with rooms on either side. As the story unfolds, he encounters 4 men who operate a small business. Each of them is a different masculine type, and each is employed in the job for which he is best suited. The 4 masculine types are called North, South, East, and West. All 4 masculine types are idea-driven, meaning that they speak and act from their ideas, not their feelings. The small business is led by Roland, a Northman. The North psychological drive creates ambition, competitiveness, and a strong will. North people are natural leaders and decision makers. They are driven to attain high social status and power over other people. A business needs workers, and the psychological drive of the worker is South. In the small business, the worker is Geoffrey Brickwick, known as Brick for short. The South archetype is responsible for labor and craftsmanship. People with this drive work hard and enjoy themselves afterwards as reward. This salt of the earth type is driven to father and support a family. The other masculine types are East and West. In the small business, Greg embodies the East drive. These people are communicators. They are talkative, helpful, and make good instructors. The final masculine type is West. This is the thinker driven by a quest for knowledge and a desire to solve problems. Sparky, a fiery character, is the business's Westman. As the story develops, Michael Ullman learns he is a middleman, a little like each of the four men, except he is more self-aware. The four men, though ideally suited for their jobs, have different worldviews and priorities. They do not understand one another. Michael, as a middleman, is hired to bridge their differences. But he can't do this because he doesn't understand the conflicting drives within himself. He leaves the men's workshop to visit four regions where the worldview of each masculine type predominates. In the north, he enters a huge ziggurat known as World Headquarters, where men vie for power and position. He goes to the west, where he meets knowledge seekers, one an ordinary measuring man, and the other a brilliant but eccentric professor. In the east, he attends a cocktail party, and afterwards the temple of a religious organization. Everywhere in the east, communicators abound. Then in the south, he descends a mining pit and eventually meets gangsters whom he escapes, only to arrive at a cave where life is meager existence. His travels are attempts to locate a mystery man known by the initials DD, who has been trying to extort Roland's business. Michael's adventures in the masculine world are followed by time spent in the feminine side. He meets four women, each of whom embodies one of the feeling-based psychological types. These are called blue, red, green, and yellow. The setting is a large apartment kept together by the house mother, a woman named Roberta. She is a blue, which is the feeling-driven equivalent of Roland the Northman. The blue psychological type has a need for order and is governed by rules. Her rules are either instilled in childhood or acquired from people she regards as experts. A blue accepts these rules without question. If handed a new recipe, for instance, a blue will always follow the instructions to the letter. She is highly conservative. The opposite of a blue is a red. This type, portrayed in the novel by Betsy, does menial tasks as directed by Roberta. A red's drive is for motherhood. She must attract a mate, so she pays particular attention to her physical appearance. In fact, she is often fixated upon her looks. Her natural partner is a Southman. The remaining feminine drives are green and yellow. Green is the feeling equivalent of the East drive to communicate. A green is highly empathic. She picks up easily on other people's feelings. She's a natural caregiver who communicates through gestures, facial expressions, and tone of voice. The remaining feminine drive is yellow. This introspective type has a need to express complex and strongly experienced emotions. She is a creative given to imaginative renderings of her feelings and visions through art, be it painting, music, poetry, fashion design, or even flower arrangements. Michael ventures out of the women's apartment to places ruled by each of the four feeling types. In the yellow region, he visits an art school. In the green, a hospital. The blue domain is illustrated by a traditional church, and the red by a dance hall. He becomes infatuated with a woman who is a frequent visitor to the women's apartment. His time with her, and with the four women, does not end well. Also, trouble has brewed among the men in the workshop. He learns that he is being blamed for all of it. At a mediation session that is more like a trial, he is told to help the very people who blame him for their predicaments. He wants to argue, fight back, or walk away. But these characters are part of him. There is no escape, as he will discover in the second novel. You likely will know people that fit the descriptions of the 8 types revealed in this book. When it comes to people, one size absolutely does not fit all, and we need it that way. We need leaders, we need workers, we need knowledgeable people, we need communicators, we need caregivers, we need creatives, and we need people willing to bear children and raise them. We need all these types, so we must accept and tolerate their differences. In the next novel, Seeking Ascension, Michael accepts that he must help the 4 men and 4 women. He must help them realize their purposes in life, for that is his life's purpose. He's not alone in this endeavor, for he meets his female counterpart, the woman who operates out of her feelings as he does out of his ideas. She has the qualities of all 4 feminine types, but is more self-aware. In fact, he has known this woman almost from the beginning of the psychodrama, having met her several times, but he never recognized her capabilities. The 2 of them resolve their differences with great difficulty. Only when they reach rapport do they begin to resolve the conflicts between the other men and women. The way they do this offers lessons for individual people and for society in general. These 2 novels, Mining the Psyche and Seeking Ascension, were originally a single book, but owing to its length, I decided to split it in 2. Both are available on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle ebook. I've also made an introductory video for Seeking Ascension. To wrap up, if you prefer books that make you think as opposed to page turners that kill time or send you to sleep, chances are you will enjoy these books. Thanks for listening.